Now, let's start sewing. Take out the head. Cut a piece of 6 inches white yarn. Thread the yarn onto a longer sewing needle. We need to create the eye sockets on the front side of the head at round 8. Space them for stitches apart in the middle. Insert the needle from the back. Pull through from the front. Leave a length of yarn tail at the back. Find round 8 on the front side. This is that round. Find the spot between the middle for stitches. Start counting from the middle here. This is the stitch. Our stitches gap is the middle. This is exactly the position of the stitch. Let's start shaping the eye sockets. Here, we can tighten the yarn. Pull the yarn through from the same spot at the back. Pull these 2 yarn tails tight. You can see an eye socket is formed here. Adjust the depth of the eye sockets. Hold the yarn with your hand. Pinch and adjust the size of the eye sockets. Look from above to check if the eye sockets are symmetrical. Tie the 2 yarn tails together in a knot. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Hide the yarn end inside the fabric. Then gently pinch and adjust the shape of the head. The eye sockets are now formed. Now let's attach the eyes. Take out the eyes in the hot melt glue stick. We need to use a lighter to heat the hot melt glue stick. Make sure to use the inner flame of the lighter to heat the hot melt glue stick. This will prevent the hot melt glue stick from turning black. Also, be very careful not to burn yourself. Touch the hot melt glue with the base of the eye. Attach the eye onto the eye socket. One eye is now securely glued on. For the eye on the other side, please complete it by following the same steps. This is what it looks like after both eyes have been attached. Next, we need to sew the ears. Take 10 inches of white yarn. One strand of yarn is made up of 4 finer strands. We will separate 2 of these strands. Thread the yarn onto a longer sewing needle. Pick out the ears. We need to sew the ears onto the head, between rounds 3 and 5. Make sure the positions are symmetrical on both sides. First, locate rounds 3 to 5 on the head. These are the 3 rounds, mark it first. Repeat the same steps on the other side. Check if the positions are symmetrical from left to right. Make any necessary adjustments. Begin sewing. First, insert the needle from the back. Pull through from the corresponding position. Leave a length of yarn tail at the back. Take out the ears. Place the ear in the correct position for sewing. The ear on this side is now sewn on. Sew the ear on the other side using the same method. After sewing the ear on the other side, pull the needle out from the same stitch. Tie the 2 yarn tails together in a knot. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Pinch to tuck the yarn end inside the fabric. Pinch and adjust the shape of the ears. The ears are now sewn on. Now, begin sewing the body. Take 12 inches white yarn. Thread the yarn onto the sewing needle. Take out the body and place it directly beneath the head. Place the side with the protrusion at the back. Take out the stitch marker and secure the body at the confirmed spot. Repeat the same step on the back. Next, insert the needle at the top position. Pull the yarn through to the corresponding spot. Leave a length of yarn tail on top. Begin sewing along the outline. Using the same method to sew the body to the head. After completing 1 round of sewing, pull the excess yarn out from the same spot. Tie a knot with the 2 yarn tails. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Pinch to tuck the yarn end inside the fabric. Pinch and adjust the shape slightly. The body is now sewn on. Now, start sewing the arms. Cut an 8-inch length of white yarn. Separate out to strands. Set the remaining 2 strands aside for later use. Thread the yarn onto the sewing needle. Take out the arms. We will sew the arms onto round 10 on both sides of the body. Make sure the positions are symmetrical on both sides. First, find the round 10. This is the round 10. Take out the stitch marker and mark it. Repeat the same steps on the other side. Check if it's symmetrical left and right. Then adjust slightly. Insert needle from the back position, pull through at the corresponding position, then remove the stitch marker. Place the arm at the corresponding position to sew. Turn to the matching position on the opposite side. Tighten the yarn. One arm is sewn on. Sew the other arm in the same way. After sewing the other arm, pull through from the same stitch. Tighten the yarn. Both arms are now sewn on. Tie the 2 yarn tails together in a knot. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Pinch to tuck the yarn end inside the fabric. Both arms are now sewn on. Now, let's sew the legs. Take out the 2 strands of 8-inch yarn. Thread it onto the sewing needle. Take out the leg and a small amount of cotton. Stuff the cotton into the leg. We need to sew the legs onto the body between rounds 4 and 7. For stitches gap in the middle. First, find rounds 4 to 7. These are the rounds. Find the corresponding position on the other side. Make any necessary adjustments. Place the leg in the matching position. Insert the needle from the back. Leave a length of yarn tail at the back. Sew along the outline. Pull the needle out from the same spot. Tie the two yarn tails together in a knot. Cut off the excess yarn tails. One leg is now sewn on. Sew the other leg using the same method. This is how it looks after both legs are sewn on. Next, take out the tail and pipe cleaner. We need to take 1/4 of the pipe cleaner. That is this part here. Fold it at the pointed end. Insert the pipe cleaner into the tail. Next, sew the tail onto the middle of the back of the body between rounds 4 and 5. That is on these 2 rounds. Find the middle position. Insert the pipe cleaner into the body. Take 8 inches of double-stranded white yarn. Start sewing. Insert the needle from the bottom. Pull through from the corresponding spot. Leave a yarn tail at the bottom. Sew along the outline. After sewing a full round, pull through from the same spot. Tie a knot with the yarn tails. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Pinch and tuck the yarn end inside the fabric. Now you can shape the tail. You can style the tail according to your preference. The tail is now sewn on. Now we need to embroider the mouth, nose, whiskers, and eyeliners. Take 12 inches of coffee-colored yarn. Pull out 1 strand from it. Take out the shorter sewing needle from the material pack. Thread the yarn onto the sewing needle. We need to embroider the mouth and nose between rounds 8 and 9 of the head. Insert the needle from above the fabric. Locate rounds 8 and 9 of the head. This is the position of those 2 rounds. Leave a length of yarn tail on top, then embroider the nose and mouth in this way. The nose and mouth are now completed. Next, on rounds 8 and 9 of the head. 1 stitch behind the eyes. Embroider 2 whiskers across for stitches. This is the exact spot. One whisker is finished. Now let's embroider another whisker below. Make any necessary adjustments. Both whiskers are embroidered. Embroider the whiskers on the other side the same way. Make sure they are symmetrical. The whiskers on both sides are done. Next, embroider the eyeliners. Start from the upper diagonal side of the eye. Embroider the eyeliner around the upper half of the eye. Do the same on this side. Adjust the eyeliner slightly. The eyeliners on both sides are finished. Tie a knot with the extra yarn tails. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Pinch to tuck the yarn end inside the fabric. The face part is completed. Now, start embroidering the paw pads. Use the 15 inches of dark pink yarn. Insert the needle from the back. Pull the yarn through at the corresponding spot in the front. Leave a length of yarn tail at the back. Next, start embroidering the paw pad. One side is now completed. Do the same on the other side. The paw pads are completed. Next, embroider the cherries on the bib. Use 10 inches of dark pink yarn. Insert the needle from the back. Leave a length of yarn tail. Wrap the yarn around the needle. Wrap the yarn 3 times. Insert the needle a little to the side. Tighten the yarn. Make French knot stitch. One cherry is completed. The second cherry is also completed. Tie a knot with these 2 yarn tails. Cut off the excess yarn tails. Two cherries are finished. Take the strands of 8 inches green yarn. Start embroidering the cherry stems. Insert the needle from the back. Leave a length of yarn tail at the back. Attach the green yarn at the cherry stem position. Do the same on this side. The cherry stems are now embroidered. Tie a knot with the extra yarn tails. Cut off the excess yarn tails. The cherries on the bib are finished. Take out the kitten. Place the bib around the kitten's neck. Move to the back and tie a knot. Pinch and adjust the shape. The pink kitten is now completed. Please make the yellow one yourself using the same methods.